And then the two players that play for TP Mazembe and won the CAF Champions League with the side from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Limwengu and Mbwana Samata. Underway then in Blida, it is Algeria against Tanzania, and all importantly I suppose as well, is the situation between these two sides, because they've played 3 times in the past. All of those matches have been played to draws. Last time that Algeria met Tanzania in Algeria, it was on the 3rd of September 2010 during an African Cup of Nations qualifier that was hosted in 2012 by Gabon and Equatorial Guinea. As we see the opening goal of the match, and we just settled down. The ball's in the back of the net already. Well, that's a great way to start an international encounter. Tanzania caught cold, and Yassin Brahimi, one of the new men in the starting lineup, grabs a goal from the left-hand side.
40 seconds. That's how quick it was. It looked very neat in terms of the build-up. From the right-hand side into the box. It looks like an easy tap. But again, you look at the architecture, the running of the ball, the delivery as well. Slimani, you've mentioned, highlighted, he plays the cross. What a finish. It's an easy tap, but well-worked goal. We've mentioned that if Algeria comes out and put Tanzania under pressure and they concede early, that'll become a mountain for them to climb. But hey, it's a game of football. Things can turn around, but we're enjoying it. Early stages, looks like lots of football and goals that we can expect.
Already the tempers are starting to boil over a little bit. We do expect there to be this sort of niggly play from North African side. We've seen it so often. Let's have a look at the goal one more time. It is Islam Slimani out on the right-hand side. It's a delightful ball. What makes it great, though, is that it's played just outside of her finger's reach by the goalkeeper Ali Mustafa. An easy tap-in for Yassin Brahimi. Absolutely perfectly orchestrated. And the referee from the Cameroon is going to have to keep a careful watch over the players in the middle of the park. Don't forget that it was the Algerian side, USMA, USM Alger, that played in the CAF Champions League final against TP Mazembe and lost by 4-1, away by 2-0. And yeah, it was a very good performance from TP Mazembe, winning their 5th CAF Champions League title. The Algerians ranked number 1 on the African continent, but just a point to be made as to playing all of their international stars in the starting lineup here for Algeria. There are no players from the CAF Champions League finalists in the starting lineup for Algeria tonight. And one of the reasons for that is that they don't really fancy themselves as a locally based side. And the example for that is in 2014 they withdrew from Chan because they thought they had a poor squad. And for that reason they've been disqualified from the 2016 competition in Rwanda because of those not participating in 2014 competition. So yeah, obviously in Algeria they're backing a lot of their international players, and being that close to Europe, it's much easier for the Algerians and the North African sides to go over the Mediterranean Sea and pick up teams in Europe. And that's exactly what Algeria are doing. The only player from USM Alger in the starting lineup, as we see the foul there on the goal scorer, is Boudaboud, the left-sided fullback from the Algerian champions. He finds himself on the bench.
My question would be, what do they think of the Chan tournament? Do they think of it as highly worthy of participating in? If you come up with those sort of excuses, unacceptable for me.
Well, hence that's the reason why they've been disqualified. So no participation then from the Algerian side, but they are going to pile lots of pressure on in front of their home supporters. There's no doubt about that. Ball on the edge of the area. It nearly pops up there for Walid Mezloub. This is Hicham Belkaroui, the 25-year-old. Belkaroui through the middle. It is Algeria playing in white from left to right. Tanzanians in their blue colours. Goal coming in the first minute from Brahimi, setting the tone, and well, the match referee taking exception to another challenge, goes to the pocket.
You can see the experience. They get the ball quicker into crucial areas, force the opposition to make mistakes. They've got the set play, they've got the aerial ammunition that they're pushing up.
The man who goes into the book is Nadia Harub. Free kick then has been taken. Lots of white bodies in that penalty area. Not picked up by Slimani. But the Algerians not leaving anything to chance. They want to come out and strike early, and they certainly have done that. Other matches that are being played at the moment. Egypt just about through to the final 20. They failed against Chad away from home by 1-0. They lead by 4-0 at home, though. That was always likely to be the situation. Live matches happening at the moment, but Algeria can't really sleep in this encounter, because you've got Ulimwengu who plays on the right hand side and Bwana Samata through the middle for the Tanzanians. They really are a wonderful combination. It does look as if the Algerians are looking particularly purposeful in this encounter. Watch out those sliding challenges, and that was another one from Mudatir Abbas, sliding into his opponent. Ball doesn't quite reach Mehdi Zefan, the left-sided fullback. Man in the picture is Walid Mazloub. Well, we will see Tanzania playing with purpose. They certainly played with purpose for the opening hour against the Algerians when they met 4 days ago. This is Bwana Samata. Kapombe. Such a capacity crowd here. They start Mustafa Shakir in Bleeder. Fans really quite a festival atmosphere, and who can blame them after getting off to the blistering start that the Algerians have been able to do. First ball down the flank early on, Slimani from the left, from the right hand side, and Brahimi finishing off the move from the left. It's absolutely brilliant.
The rotation of the ball, starting into defense, into the midfield, and then you look at how they spread themselves and get the ball into the box, and the playing personnel. We're talking the goal scorer Yassin Brahimi and Slimani with the supply.
South Africa 0-0 against Angola at the moment. Tunisia leading by 1-0 over Mauritania. Cote d'Ivoire 3-0 over Liberia. Burkina Faso have scored against Benin. Algeria leading against Tanzania. The referee really going to have to put his hand up here. Kevin Yondan with the foul. There's been plenty of that from the Tanzanians so far, and they've already picked up a yellow card. Nice tracking back that as well from the midfield. It's always going to be a tough prospect for Tanzania to come into Algeria and meet the top-ranked side on the African continent. Having said that, though, sides have met each other on 3 different occasions. 2 of them in Tanzania, and 1 of them, as I said, in 2010 in Algeria. All of them have been played to draws so far, and all been score draws as well.
So there is potential as well. This is the goal. It became an easy tap for Brahimi.
Yeah, it certainly was. One cannot take away the work that was done by Riyad Mahrez through the middle of the park before reaching Islam Slimani. Little header away from the danger zone for the Algerians, picked up by Zefan. Well, they just got Tanzania chasing at the moment, but no way through on that occasion for Riyad Mahrez.
They've got to find their rhythm. Tanzania. So far, it's still sketchy on their side in terms of the rhythm.
Another look from a different angle to where the goal came.
I think it's a goal where, if you're the goalkeeper, Mustafa, you'd be disappointed because it was within reach.
The ball slipped through from Yassin Brahimi. Again, the link up with Riyad Mahrez. Brahimi again. Mahrez will play on the overlap from Zefan, but the cross doesn't have the quality that we saw previously.
But again, showing their intentions you have, and they'll continue to show the goal, which is well worked.
Bwana Samata is playing quite deep from almost behind the halfway line, but one can understand that with Algeria in full flight at the moment. And again, it's Yassin Brahimi. Brahimi again, linking up with Islam Slimani. Slimani was down the right-hand side a bit earlier on. He's over on the left-hand side now as himself and Riyad Mahrez swap over from one flank to the other. Tanzania showing lots of discipline in defence.
Well, they're being pinned back into their own half, even closer to their opponents. I mean, if you look at the number of defenders that have tracked back, you have about 7 players that have tracked back into defence. Now they've got to try and get the ball into Algeria's half, and as we speak, giving away possession.
Cross ball from Walid Mezloub. Yeah, gone down there as well. Free kick for Algeria.
We can safely tell you that South Africa leading 4-1, an own goal from Macaulay.
They lead by 1-0 on the night, 4-1 on aggregate. Continue to remind you of the aggregate score lines throughout this match as well. 3-2, but 2 away goals for the Algerians, who think they have a corner, but the referee waves them away, and it's given as a goal kick. That should be easy though for Ali Mustafa. Well, Tanzania not afraid to come out and play some good football. Farid Musa has gone down under the challenge with Zefan. Both players just colliding with each other, and the Tanzania number 9 has stayed down.
There's a major difference when you look at Algeria attacking the options for the man on the ball. There's always about 2 options or 3 options, whereas it's a different scenario when you have a Tanzanian player on the ball. Only 1 option, sometimes not enough or no option at all, because you're forced to have about 3-4 touches, thus allowing Algeria to put you under pressure and dispossess you.
There's a chance that this match could go to extra time and penalties. Only if it ends in a 2-2 draw might be a possibility, but I'm not sure if it's a really realistic. Just penetrate and probe with quality balls from the flanks to the Algerians. Wide again from Nabil Bentaleb. Again looking for movement off the ball, scrambled away to a safety, cost of a corner from Elias Maguri.
It happens when you're put under pressure. The variation in terms of the crosses in swing this time around, desperate defending. They've got a corner to defend. I think there's the goalkeeper is injured, or is it an Algerian player? Looks like an Algerian player, yes.
This is where the referee really has to be on top of his game, because in these little situations, there can be a little bit of niggle that comes into things, and the referee would be very guarded against having any sort of temperament. Just a little knock in the face by Kevin Yondan on Nabil Bentaleb, and the North African side to take full advantage of those situations, trying to milk it for all that it's worth and maybe get their opposition yellow carded, or even worse than that. Header from Thomas Olimwengu back in defence, and they're going to have to scramble this away, Tanzania, because there's so many white jerseys inside of that penalty area. This is Mbwana Samata. I don't think that ball had gone out of play, actually. Yet the corner flag stayed inside. The referee's given a throw-in, the assistant referee anyway.
Well, I guess sometimes when you see the ball almost going out, you're thinking it's definitely going to go out. But when it hits the corner flag, bounce back.
It's all attack from Algeria, and certainly we haven't seen Tanzania mounting too much of an attack at all. Raisemboli, the 29-year-old Algerian goalkeeper, has had very little to do so far. That's a foul on the captain, Kalmejani. Apologies immediately coming from the Tanzanian midfielder, Mao. Little skip ball down the flank for Riyad Mahrez, and the referee is really going to have to instill some discipline. And again, the Algerians surrounding the match official, looking for a card of some sort. Well, it was a stupid challenge indeed from Abbas. Just almost going with the heel, turned his back on his opponent, went in with the heel almost. That's certainly a booking of some sort. I don't think he's pulled out the card though. There's another Algerian that's gone down, claiming some sort of serious injury. Tempers all around the place, and the captain having to intervene here, Medjani, trying to keep Fawzi Gulam calm. Nothing that Christian Gorkov can do about it from the touchline.
He looks calm. But then you have the captain that should be able to take over the situation, calm his players down.
It is Bentaleb, the man who was fouled, who's still looking to receive medical attention.
Let's look at this challenge again. Oh, this is the goal. It happens when you slow starters as a team. Is there going to be a booking? Looks like there will be.
Some of the bench players looking on as Bentaleb is able to get back to his feet in the Algerian camp. Match referee having a chat there to Riyad Mahrez, the winger, before he takes the set piece. Just waiting for the medical staff to get off the field of play after treating Nabil Bentaleb. There's so much time that gets wasted in these encounters involving North African sides. Mustafa looking for the positioning of the wall, and of course another feature of North African matches is those little lasers that get shone into the eyes of goalkeepers and players. Most unfortunate. And when you have a full stadium, it's difficult for the officials to try and single out one individual, particularly with those lasers being so tiny as they are, easily concealed. Nonetheless, yes, Mahrez doesn't get the flick on he was looking for, comes back to the winger.
This is probably, I don't know about you, but during this game, Tanzania, Algeria, this is the first time I actually see the spray being applied in terms of drawing the line. In all the other games that we've done, I haven't seen it applied.
Zefan looking for another throw, and the Cameroonian referees and his assistant referees saying there was a touch from an Algerian player. So throw into Tanzania. Coach Boniface Mkwasa will know that if Tanzania are able to grab an equaliser, this match will definitely come to light. Bwana Samata looking for a touch. It falls to the Algerians then, and another foul, this time from Hamid Mayo. But they've been forced into playing a little quicker than maybe they are accustomed, the Tanzanians. That really, no attempt to play the ball whatsoever from the number 7.
And you can see every time Tanzania tries to move forward, they give away possession in crucial areas. And as for Algeria, like I said, one player on the ball has got about 2 or 3 options.
A bit of skill there looking for Zefan. It almost appeared if he was prepared to handle the ball on that occasion. Now forward by Abbas. Bwana Samata. Ulimwengu. It wasn't Ulimwengu, it was Shomari Kapombe. Well, that is not Ulimwengu, he did take his eyes off it. Uncustomary from the right winger. It's such a great CAF Champions League campaign with TP Mazembe, eventually ending up as champions for the 5th time on the African continent. Stefan into the middle. Aissa Mandi playing in the centre of defence, the 24-year-old. And the referee goes to the pocket again, and Yondan, I think, is the man who's in a spot of bother, and every time they get penalised, the Tanzanians show a lot of aggression.
Well, it is a foul, and there's no doubt about that. When Brahimi was fouled, and it's not helping the cause Tanzania, because you have a couple of players now who've been booked.
Abbas, in fact, who picks up a yellow card, and he was involved in a bit of an unfair challenge a bit earlier on as well. So maybe the referee had just made a mental note of it, and one foul too many, and suddenly you go into the book. You can hardly blame the match official. One can also understand the urgency from the Tanzanians to try and cause a major upset as far as bundling Algeria out of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers for the CAF region. Free kick through the wall, through the keeper as well.
We have seen such quality of execution of set pieces. We saw a game earlier on, it was Ghana. We saw a scorcher. This time it was direct. And they were patient. They waited for Tanzania to have that line. Look at that. It's more like passing it into the box. There is no killing it. Pick the spot, place it there. Superbly taken. Beautiful stuff. No chance.
24-year-old Napoli-based left-sided fullback Fauzi Gulam doubles the lead for Algeria.
That's a technique. That power, you look at the distance, you look at the fact that he used the instep to pass that ball into the net. Such was the confidence from Fauzi Gulam. Listen to that crowd.
Maybe the scorer of the other goal. This is a classic.
Collector's item. That's how he takes them. He will continue to take them like that. That's a technique, not something that he just starts now.
at this early stage of the encounter, and we're only to the 25th minute. It seems highly unlikely that there'll be a fourth draw in a row between Algeria and Tanzania.
Well, you have Algeria, who had to bounce back in Tanzania. They managed to score the 2 goals. And you have Tanzania's training away from home. Can they bounce back? There is still time. Question is, do they have their rhythm? Do they have the fighting spirit? Is there character in those players to turn it around? We watch it. We enjoy it.
They might have the character. I'm not sure if they have the quality.
Well, they scored against Algeria, so I'm sure they have some quality.
I haven't seen too much of Mboli, and that clearance probably not of his best either.
It's a sort of game where when you look at on the bench for Tanzania, one of their favorite players.
There's Mbwana Samata. Didn't quite get hold of it.
And a player called Boko on the bench. Very popular during the Chan, which is playing in Kasafa, in fact.
There wasn't already a huge atmosphere in Blida, certainly is now, with the Algerians leading by 2-0. Wonderful free kick by Ghulam just a few minutes ago. Lead by 4-2 on the aggregate scoreline. The way that Algeria are playing, there's probably room for even more goals. Tanzania won't participate in the Chan competition either, which is the next international competition. They lost to Uganda by 4-1. Uganda really have been in terrific form most recently, because they've also come up with some good results in recent times. Now, yellow card here to Nabil Bentaleb.
I thought it was a bookable offense, but it took time, the referee. But finally, he dishes out that yellow card to Bentaleb. Nabil, he was naughty and he knows it.
Chase on there by Islam Slimani, and the defender's given it away. Mustafa had that covered rather comfortably. Egypt have beaten Chad by 4-0 to make their way into the, eventually will be at the final 20. Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Ghana, Nigeria and Egypt so far tonight alone. But there's a bit of space around the edge of the penalty area. That's a great goal.
No, it's not going to count. It is offside.
Really well taken first time.
Yeah. But the man that scores that goal was coming from an offside position. Well spotted by the assistant on the far side.
Well, Boniface and Kwasa can't believe it. The officials are out there, the Cameroonian officials. Elvis Nobu is the assistant referee on the far side. Algerians continue to play with the width this pitch offers them. Clearance from Kevin Yondan. Don't take any chances to the Algerians. You have to be careful in front of a player like Mbwana Samata, who had that chance just a few minutes ago off the left-hand side. Wasn't able to really test Rice and Mboli. Ball through here by Maguri.
They just need to be able, and this is where the offside was. It's a good call.
And he picked up a yellow card just a few moments ago, Nabil Bentaleb. And there's an opportunity for Riyad Mahrez. Just seemed to stab it, no real backlift. Not a lot of confidence either.
He rushed it.
Strong challenge from the captain, Kalmedjani, holding midfield role. Strong challenge out there as well from Fawzi Ghulam, goal scorer of the second Algerian goal tonight. Ghulam, who's 24 years old and plays for Napoli. In actual fact, he played for the French under-21 side before committing himself to the full Algerian setup. Through the middle by Walid Mazloub. But they've turned it around, have the Tanzanians, and suddenly starting to find a bit of space. This is Ulimwengu. Challenge by Elias Maguri on Bolin. And I think the referee's given protection to the keeper.
He has. You get that impression that if Tanzania gets their rhythm right and use the pace they have up front, they're able to unlock the Algerian defense. They've got their weaknesses. Yes, they have scored 2 goals, but I think they're very suspect at the back. They just need someone with pace and skill to unsettle them.
Ball comes off the back of Mwini. There's Mwini again. Yondan. Take nothing away from Tanzania. They have had the setbacks from that early goal from Brahimi, and then Ghulam's stunning free kick halfway through the first half, but they're chasing and chasing, and as you said, Brian, Tanzania led by 2-0 at home, and then Algeria fought back. Who knows that the opposite can't happen here tonight?
And it is possible. Like I'm saying, the last 5 to almost 10 minutes, when they get that ball and knock it around with precision, Tanzania, they look very attractive, but also the defense for Algeria, they look very suspect. There's a man who's already on the yellow card, Bentaleb. This is the Algerian team that played against South Africa in the AFCON, and they have Tuchel Ranti missing the penalty.
It's quite a big mistake from Ali Mustafa. Back pass from almost the halfway line, and he tried to keep it in play and made a complete mess of it.
The last thing you need when you're training 2-0, trying to get your groove back in terms of your rhythm, you have the last line of defense being so erratic and putting you under pressure. That's the last thing that you need.
Absolutely, and his side unnecessarily placed under pressure. So played short again. This is Brahimi. Oh, it's a little bit ambitious, I felt, from Mahrez. Another corner though to the Algerians, so no damage done as far as their psyche and momentum is concerned. Still Brahimi, and that's one over the top from Zefan. So they continue to try, but they're trying from deep. Terribly much progress at the moment. They did have 1 or 2 nice opportunities as the keeper comes out just in time to prevent Brahimi making it 3 and completing a brace. I've seen 1 or 2 breaks that have been purposeful from the Tanzanians, and another one here with Mbana Samata. Ulimwengu, Maguri. And even Abbas throws his weight into that midfield for the Tanzanians, but Algerians very, very well organised. Once again, it's Bentaleb who's gone down with an injury and is waiting for a bit of a leg up, and the captain of Tanzania is asking the question, what's all that about? Looks like as if we might have a change in personnel already from a Tanzanian point of view. And the man who will come on will be Adian Guediora. He's not happy, is he, Bentaleb?
Wonder what happened. Is it an injury? Forced change, Nabil Bentaleb?
So Guediora will slip then into the midfield for the Algerians. He's one of the players that was left out of the starting lineup by the French coach, Christian Gourcuff. Started against Tanzania when they played 4 days ago. Zefan turns the ball away to safety for the Algerians, and nice high line starting to appear here for Tanzania. They've got numbers forward. Well, we are going to have the change now. Guediora not on yet, but he is now. The 30-year-old who plays at Watford in England is Adrien Guediora. His youth careers with Racing Paris, and he played with Sedan and a whole bunch of other sides as well. Charleroi, Kortrijk in the Netherlands, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Forest, Palace. He was on loan to Watford and then eventually signed with Watford. But the substitute who is welcomed to the match by Hamid Mao. Not surprising, there's a yellow card for him.
His interruptions helps Algeria. When you're leading 2-0, what you always want to do is to affect the rhythm of your opponent. Stoppages disrupts the flow, allows you to regroup, slow things down. Works for Algeria.
Such a massive buzz around the stadium. Algeria leading by 2-0. About 7 minutes remaining, and then stoppage time, of which there has been a little already. Not forward by Karl Medjani. This is Brahimi. Another turn by Brahimi. Finds Guediora. Now away by the Tanzanians, who find Elias Maguri. They're still inside of their own half though, and one back by Guediora. It's a delightful ball, and the angled run here, and nearly tucked home by Zefan.
When we talk about the game of seconds, that's what Algeria are doing. A very direct, simple approach, but effective. Good run. Looks up for the option, gets the option, misses the target.
I was rather surprised that the left-sided, or the right-sided fullback wasn't able to, or wasn't allowed to run onto that and have a crack himself, because he was the recipient after the ball was turned back to him in the area. I just thought he had a better angle to run onto it from the right-hand side. Another Tanzanian player that's gone down injured. It has been a rather stop-start affair at times. I'm sure that the dignitaries in Bleeder tonight will be happy with the scoreline. Those dignitaries that are there from Algeria, and it looks as if most of those up there are certainly from Algeria.
we can safely confirm it to you that South Africa have qualified to the group stages, beating Angola 4-1.
Another team qualifies for the last 20. Just another 7 matches outstanding, another 7 teams, so 2/3 of the sides already through into the group stages. FIFA announcing earlier tonight that the date and time of the draw for the final 20 hasn't been announced yet, but will be in a short space of time. And down goes Brahimi once again, and the referee has gone to the pocket one more time.
They will force you to make mistakes in your own half. They're well experienced, the Algerian
Well, Abbas did pick up a yellow card. I thought he picked up a yellow card earlier on. Abbas is gone. 2 yellow cards in the first half. Abbas will have to take the long, embarrassing walk back to the tunnel. Stops to apologise to his opponent anyway.
They'll tease you, and he's teasing them. He's inviting them. There is no danger. So you don't commit to such a silly tackle. There is no danger at all. It's on the touchline.
It wasn't bad enough that they trailed by 2-0 and 4-2 on aggregate. They have Mudatir Abbas sent off for a second yellow card, and things going from bad to worse for the Tanzanians, who certainly have had their fair share of mistimed challenges tonight. So another opportunity from a set piece for the continent's #1 country in football. Majani's up there, so is Islam Slimani. Easily headed away though by Limwengu. This is Gulam. Gulam still trying to make himself available to Brahimi. And Brahimi trying to turn again, but here's Gulam. Lays it back into the net. It's the 3rd goal. This one's for Riyad Mahrez. Algeria on fire, scoring 3 times before half-time.
Again, it's another one of those well-made, manufactured goals. This time, it comes from the left-hand side. That's where the weakness for Tanzania is, because they just had a red-carded player. And it's the same man very involved in that good skill. Intercepted by the goal scorer himself. Man that scored the second goal becomes the provider this time around. Gulam. What a finish in the box. No chance. Tight angles, they work on those spaces, gaps, and they exploit those. They mean business.
The biggest margin of lead or victory tonight that has come through has come from Cairo, where Egypt beat Chad by 4-0. Cote d'Ivoire over Liberia by 3-0. Algeria lead by 3-0 with about 90 seconds to play before first half stoppage time. Referees from the Cameroon, Sidi Al Lioum, certainly has been a busy man tonight so far.
Talk about bossing your opponents, and that's what Algeria are doing. They have a game plan. At certain points, they interrupt the flow of the game, and the next minute it looks very fluid on their part. The passing looks slick, the running of the ball impressive, the finishing exquisite.
Tanzania never lost against Algeria. Tonight is going to be the exception. Down by 3-0. They're going to have to play the entire second half with only 10 men. This is how the 3rd goal came. Beautifully struck by Riyad Mahrez.
Good technique. Excellent stuff. it's not just a cross, it's a pass into the box, because he had the options. When you look at Ghulam, he knew the option that was coming, and the pass that he had to make, played it on the ground. And Mahrez does not disappoint.
2 minutes at a time by the Cameroonian match official. We are in stoppage time in Blida. Algeria leading by 3-0. He hopes that Tanzania, ahead of making a fight of this, seem to be disappearing rather rapidly, and if they still had a full complement of players going into the second half, one would have fancied perhaps there was some slim margin that they could have backed themselves with, but yeah, it seems a very tough ask now, trailing by 3-0. Still, the pressure continues. This is Slimani. Probably the easiest save that Mustafa's had to make the whole night.
Again, we spoke about the options for the man on the ball. 3 players were there as an option for him.
An option for some acrobatics from Mbwana Samatta, didn't make contact with it. Meantime, Wengu seems to have looked for some space down the left-hand side for a change. Lovely combination between Brahimi and Slimani.
Again, I'm looking at the options. 3 players were there as an option.
What is Tanzania likely to offer as far as the second half is concerned? Because this match is very much beyond them. But you know, when a side is down to 10 men and there's nothing left to lose, beware of backing a side into a corner, because they come out in the second half and really express themselves, pull a couple of goals back. Maybe Algeria could be on the back foot. They're certainly not, though, going into half-time. Brahimi in the first minute, Ghulam halfway through the half, and Mahrez just before half-time. Algeria really taking the game to Tanzania, making use of all their opportunities, and with Mudatir Abbas sent off for the visiting side, everything's pointing towards the number 1 side on the African continent, going through easily into the final 20 and into the pool stages of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. This is how the goals came then. Good work being done by Yassin Brahimi. Little link up there with Slimani. In fact, this is the 3rd goal that came from Mahrez, and easily beating Ali Mustafa. Half-time then in Blida. It's Algeria 3,